Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Late Night Reviews. Actually, it's already early morning reviews because I'm working on this video since like 3:20 a.m. on a Sunday. So anyway, the very special episode right here is because Voltes v Legacy is coming into your TV set some of this year. At least that's what they said at the last year's Toy-Con. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce you to Mini Action Series 2 Voltes 5, the Ultra Electromagnetic Robot. And as you can see here, I bought this at like 2,895 pesos. And if you're going to convert that to, I don't know, dollars or yen, you make them net up with like 4,000 yen or something like that. And this is already at the discounted price because as you can see, if you go ahead and buy stuff like this in special toy shops, like, you know, those who sell like MCU, Super Sentai, Dragon Ball, SH Figure Arts, so on and so forth, they really value this toy very much, at least here in the Philippines, because Philippines is known to be a Voltes 5 country. And that's why it really is a very expensive piece of action figure. And not only that, it's always sold out whenever you go into shops. Tatanong ka na, sir, may po ba kayo ng Mini Action Series Voltes 5? And they would say, ay sir, ubos na po. And when it comes to that, every shop that you see online that sells this figure, it always commands like 5,000, at least the lowest price I can think of is 3,000 pesos. This right here though, very cheap ko siya nabili compared to the suggested retail price. And I bought this like in last October, Cosplay Mania, and it's the only one in stock, so I just want to give it a risk and take a shot and see what this bad boy is. So without further ado, let's open this up. And as you can see, it comes in two packages. And let me go ahead and get that instruction booklet. And speaking of things, here is the my instruction booklet. Let me just open this up right here real quick. Yeah, I don't want to rip the paper off or the plastic or whatever. So here's the instruction booklet, and if you're going to take a look at this, it shows you detailed instructions on how to form a Voltes 5 with the heavenly sword and all. And there's another piece of paper that you need to take a look at when it comes to connecting the foot piece together with the leg piece. And speaking of the pieces, here they are. And we got our set for open hands, we got a set for closed hands, we got our set for open hands. The other one has a hole in it to mimic the action of pulling off the heavenly sword, which is right here. Let me just pop it out of its case. Forgive me, this is my first time making a video, and as you can see right here, the heavenly sword does look pointy, but if we go ahead and do the pointing this, it kind of feel this thing, but it's not really to the point that it can get someone hurt. So here it is, the heavenly sword. Okay, first off, we got the Volt Cruiser right here. And if you're going to notice things, Action Toys really made some nice details because you got the pilot seat right here. Yeah, without an actual pilot, because it would be too hard on them to create a pilot model to sit on. And then you got the jet itself, which is really quite nice to look at. And you got the Voltes 5 head, which accurately portrays what how Voltes 5 looks at the anime, especially the face part. And if you're going to look at the side characteristics right here, and if you're going to look at the sides right here, and there are paint jobs that are really a hit and a miss, especially at the sides. So that's a Volt Cruiser. Next up, we got the Volk Bomber, Ipe Mine's or Mark Gordon's machine right here. So as you can see, same with the Volk Cruiser, it has the pilot cockpit and the two hands that you can see right here, and the joints. Well, it's this piece right here doesn't. Oh wait, it is. It does move. So if you go ahead and push this right there, and push it right there, it allows you to go ahead and go ahead and form Voltas 5 arms right here. You just have to push those leaves. It allows you to go ahead and form Voltas 5 arms. You just need to push these back and then pull these apart. And if we go ahead and pull these wings back, and let me tell you something about the Volk Bomber right here, because man, this is the one part that I'm always having a hard time whenever I go ahead and form Voltas 5 right here, because the construction quality on the Volt Bomber is really quite flimsy, and I might not be the most careful person in the world here, but I think if you need them force to go ahead and push something or take something out, that's a minus points in my book. And this right here, this one right here, is the worst piece that I could ever imagine in a toy like this, because you have to go ahead and push it back right there so that the Voltes 5 set can go ahead and push it in. And we'll get back to that as to why I hate this piece right here on the Volt Bomber. So let me just put it right there. Next up, we got the Volt Panzer, Big Bird, Armstrong, or Daijiro Go's machine right here. So just like with the previous Voltus machines, there is a cockpit that's pushable, and sometimes you have to get your pinky or the heavily sword to push this out. Yeah. Okay, so if I go do that, there it is. It goes out, and you got two sets of claws right here. And these claws can be opened and be shut whatever every time. There you go. And the tank parts right here. Another case of really finicky part handling here, because it's like go ahead and pull these off. It's that. You'll have to go ahead and push these to the sides, and look at this one, this wobbly piece of stuff right here. You have to go ahead and push that one too. Sometimes it's not even symmetrical, but it does a job done. So once again, let me just put it there. And this is the Voltes 5 body. Let me just go ahead and put the Volk Bomber back in. Put it in right there, and it snaps like that. So you got almost one half of Voltes 5's body right here. So let me just pull that one out. Now we got the Volk Frigate, he or she go, aka Little John Armstrong's machine right here. And with this one, I got nothing to say about this because it's not bad, but it's not really quite good. But you can go ahead and push these out. And you can go ahead and push that one out of the way. And unlike the previous Volt machines, the cockpit in here can be easily pushed in and pulled out. I mean, it's Lil John's machine, so that's just fine. And then you can go ahead and close the missiles right here. And what I really find interesting is how you go ahead and pull up the connectors for the foot joint. So you need to push this out first, and then do like that, and then you push it back in. As you can see here, a little snap. So you gotta do this on the other leg, and this time this one just fits. And as you can see right here, it uses some ball joints. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of ball joints like these. I mean, these joints are the easiest to break. And what's very noticeable is that it gives you a wide range of motion. So you can go ahead and have Voltes 5 do something like this, run like a Looney Tunes character. So if you go, and this connects, as you can see, there are two holes in here. One for the Volk Panzer to connect with the Volk Frigate, and yeah, there it is. You already now have like 3 out of the 5 Volk machines already connected right here. So split it away. And lastly, we got the Volklander, Megumiyoka, or Jamie Robinson's machine over here. And as you'll notice, how it connects and separates is that it has this connector system right here, where if you could go ahead and push it here on this side, it automatically snaps in. And it's kind of a bit hard to pull it off. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this connector system right here. It just gets a bit scary to go ahead and connect these and separate them back again. It'll the risk of breaking this bit apart right here. And we have a transforms, and it goes right there, and it goes right there. And the missile doors are really pushable, but you've got to be careful with these because I've been playing with this toy since I bought this at Cosplay Mania, and to push it back, you really have to be careful not to go ahead and pop the missiles off because it will be a pain to get them out of the foot. So right there, let me just go ahead and put this in the right here. Yep, this is what the foot joint is. So let me just pop it in, push this out, and pop it in. And as you can see, we already got Voltes 5. And as you can see here, we got a Voltes 5 almost complete. We're just missing the hands and the Volt Cruiser. And speaking of Volt Cruiser, right here, the way to pull his head off is really quite tricky to do. So you'll have to go ahead and you have to go ahead and push the bottom part down, and then you got to pull the head back in, which is, for a guy with big hands, it's not really easy to do. So there it is. And then you go ahead and connect this right there. And now we got to use the two hands right here. So here is one hand. And here is the other. So, here we have the completed Voltes 5 model, and as you can see, the model is quite detailed here, and it has adequate range of motion, to the point that you can do some basic and even some complex poses. Set posability, however, comes with a trade-off, and it comes with the moving parts here and there, and with the combination gimmick. This pose right here with the laser Zord, and with this one with the double Zeta Gundam receiving an uppercut, it took me minutes to pull this off because Voltes 5 keeps falling due to balancing issues. It really does fit into my own collection of figurines, and as you can see here, it shares the same height as a high-grade Gunpla, some figurized standard Dragon Ball model kits, and even your typical SH Figure Arts model. And here is a shot-by-shot comparison. Now that we have molded Voltes 5, it's now time to vault out. And vault out we shall. So let me just pull this head off. And there you go. See this? See this one right here? This is what I was talking about with the Volk Bomber. Let me just go ahead and take out the head, reform the Volt Cruiser. There you go. And as you can see here, the Volk Bomber cockpit is formed with two parts, the bottom half and the top half. So let me just take out the rest of the Volk Bomber. So let me just pull this one out and put it in its hand position, and take out the Voltes hands. And if you're going to notice, inside the Volk Bomber, there are two separators, left, right, and right. And what I'll have to do is to go ahead and line it up to those separators. So you can see here the separator, and it lines up with the halves of the cockpit. So I'll push it in, will it line up, and there you go. So let me just clamp it in,
and put the Volk Bomber, some red thingamajigs in its original position in vehicle mode. And this is the second thing that I really hate about the Volk Bomber. And put it into its vehicle mode right here, and fix the red things. And now watch what happens when I go ahead and pull this one out. Yep, sometimes that happens with the Volk frigate ball joints. And now I put the Volk Panzer into tank mode. And as you can see, the tank wheels are really wobbly as heck. And now I had to go ahead and push the cockpit out. Sometimes I'll have to need the aid of the Heavenly Sword. Sometimes I don't. And in this instance, yeah, I really do need to take out the Heavenly Sword out of its box, just to push the cockpit of the Volk Panzer. Give me 1 second right here. Let me just push the tip. There you go. And now I'll just have to go ahead and fix the wheels and pull out the hands. And now let me just go ahead and fix some Volk frigate right there. And let me go ahead and separate the Volk lander from the frigate. And there we go with the ridiculous joint connector. That's a minus point in my book. Then let me just pull out the missile. Then take out the other leg. And yep, I really hate that joint connector. And push this one back in. Push on the missile. Take out the other missile. And then pull the cockpit out. And now with the Volk lander. So let me just get this one out there. Put the two parts back in, slide it out. Okay. There you go. And put it back in its original place. Let me just check if the missile didn't pop out. Good. Check the other one. Good as well. And
so all in all, Voltes 5 Mini Action Series Volume 2 is great if you're a fan of putting stuff together, a fan of super robots. But all in all, it's not really that much of a great action figure. It's clunky, it's hard to put things together, it's even harder to put things apart. So I will give this one a 7 out of 10.